Alright, so we got the other one in, or the second cap down in. The other half of our axle we've got greased. There's a happy neighbor. Now it gets to be a little more fun. We'll pull that cap off. Pull this one off, set it to the side. I get to figure out, there we go. Slide those two pieces in. Grab our cap, slide it in. Okay. Set it down. See, I'm going to set it this way. And repeat. Again, we'll just tap here to push the axle down so it seats on the cap. I like to give it just a couple whacks to make sure, then go check it to make sure the cap is seating well, and it is. Make sure it's not going in crooked. Okay, now we'll go and looking in here, we still can't see the ridge or the recess where the clip's going to go, and we can see the cap is still sticking out a ways. So we'll take our socket again, line it up, give it a smack, reevaluate. Wow, we went plenty far that time. So now, again, we've got our clips here. Let's stand this up, turn it over to the side a little bit. Come up from the top angle. There you go. And that clip went on by hand all the way down. I pushed the U-joint too far this way. So I'm going to want to, before I'm done, make sure that I get it seated back a little bit. But there's time for that in a bit. So now we're going to go ahead and put the other cap in. Flip it over. Again, we'll check to make sure it's seating well. Oh, that one's seating real good, real quick. Let's go down low again. Set this back on our socket. Getting closer. And still closer yet. Let's get the wood out of the way so it's not bouncing so much. That one felt a lot better. Okay, we're pretty close, so I'm going to grab the clip, the last clip here. Hold still. And we're going to see if that will fit on there, and it does. We got just enough there. And that one slid on. Doesn't hurt to take a screwdriver, and really push on that to make sure you're seated. If it's a tight fit, you may want to tap on the back of the screwdriver with a hammer to make sure it's seated all the way. But again, I'm going to go back and look at this other side, the one that had a bit of a gap in it. By seating that last cap, it moved the U-joint over a little bit. So now we've got the new U-joint in. Here we've got our hole where the grease zerk will go in. I'm going to put the grease zerk in. It's a needle grease zerk. I don't like it so much. I prefer the kind that have the standard zerk that are usually mounted about here. But it's what my store had. Last week I was in a pinch, so I went with it. And I want to match both sides. But I'm going to put the grease zerk in, grease it, I do have to pull the grease zerk back out because, let's move over here, because it's not, it will get hung up on this edge. It's just too big to go in. So I'll pull the grease zerk out, install the axle, and then put the grease zerk back in. All right, here is the grease zerk. Again, it's the needle set up. We're just going to screw it into here. I tried greasing it without installing this, and it didn't go so well. It just kind of fired the grease back out of the hole. So we'll put that on. Give it a shot of grease. I'm not sure if you can hear that. That's the grease pushing out. And watch what we're doing, kid. You can see it pushed out of the seal right there. I would like to get it to push out of all the seals. Looks like it came out the other side as well. I would like to see it come out these two. So we'll give it another shot and before we install it. I haven't taken great care to keep dirt and other grime off of the spindles. So I'm going to go ahead and wipe down the grease, take some brake cleaner, get off every little piece of dirt that may be on there, re-grease the spindles, re-grease the axle, not spindle, and then we'll install it back into the differential. All right, so I lost my assistant here, camera shooter, but we'll see if we can do this one-handed. Basically, just threw a bunch of grease there on the axle. Some more down here. I'm going to take it, and I'm just going to feed her back in. I guess so. And that's where my grease zerk is going to go. So I'm going to line it up on that side so it's just ready to go in. So I can slide that in without having to rotate the axle later. And there we go. Axle seated. Okay, next, we're just going to put everything back together in reverse order. Take a look at that. Actually, this edge here, I have marred up a little bit in getting it out. So I'm just going to take a hammer and flatten that out a little bit. Okay, while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and throw some grease down in there. There you can see all of the little lines, the bearings in there. I'm going to go ahead and give those some grease. And then I'll go ahead and grease this post pretty well before I slap that back on. It's greased up pretty well. Got this grease there on the inside, a little on the outside. We're going to take it and just slide her back on. Line it up with the post there. And now it's not fitting on back perfectly. So we'll get a little persuasive with it. And we'll tap that around until it seats perfectly. Okay, so with a little tapping, we got that seated down nice and flush. Next, we're going to take the dust shield. And let's see, I'm doing that exactly backwards. Slap that on. And we'll just take our washers, slide the washer on. And we'll get all of those 6 washers and nuts on and tighten down to secure the dust shield on.